Hey there, my name's Trey, and this is TS Steelworks. We're out in the shop again today, and we're going to fire up the 1998 HAAS HL2 and get it set up to make some vice-based parts. This is a product that I sell, and I'm low on inventory and need to get some stuff made, so we're going to get the hydraulic chuck set, and then we'll be making them out of 1.5" 1045. This is actually cold drawn material, but we could use hot rolled for all that more that it does. The other reason I use 1045 is because that's a material that I commonly stock when I make my blacksmith hammers, so I just use that. The price isn't crazy different from that to A36 or 1018, so I just have 1045 here on stock. So let's fire the machine up first. It's not very warm in the shop, so let's get the hydraulics powered up and get them warming up a little bit. All right. Pretty cold here. I just had to hold a blowtorch to the side of my air compressor so that the oil would thin out a little bit. That was cool. This machine gives me some problems, but it's been pretty good. We're working through it. Settings. Turn off our door alarm, or our door safety switch rather, and then we'll do power up restart. Kind of expect it to be not happy. The tail stalks, what's the problem? Alright, she's home. Move that tail stalk off the home switch. It just sits there and buzzes. We're going to put our adapter bushing on here. This keeps it centered up in the bore of the chuck, which I could argue isn't necessary for this big of a piece of material, but it's fine. Doesn't hurt to be on there. It might be fine. We're going to try it without it. I feel like I need about 3 inches sticking out. Maybe it's more than that. 3 1/4. Clamp. See that? That drew back in quite a bit. I gotta try and make this happy. The bar is sagging is the problem. There's about 3 1/2 sticking out. Pin is 2 1/2 inches long. We'll see. Zero, which should be 20 thousandths, and then take a face cut. That looks good. Yeah, 1.487 is the diameter we're turning to, hopefully. We're going to find out. Feeding back 2 5/8 of an inch. Got to look at our other tools to make sure they're not going to hit anything. Yeah, we only need to be sticking out 3 1/4, I think. Okay. Go back to our start position. Now this will be where the chamfer goes on. Looks like we're doing that in one pass. We're going to send that home. We got to check our diameter. Stop that real quick. Shooting for 1.487. Everything's cold, so I don't know what to expect. 85, 86, 87. It's about 88. I'm not really mad about 88 or 87. That's incredible, really. It's 88, yeah. I'm not mad about that at all. Now, next tool is this. And then we can just take this nut off the back. That looks a little better. Now we're gonna slow down here. Turn that coolant off for a second. We're gonna head back to where we're parting off at. And then we're gonna part it off. Turn the coolant on, make sure we got good flow. Coolant. Yahtzee. Wrap it back out. Z.1. Turn our spindle off, turn our coolant off, go to the home position. Call tool 10 back up. We're going to pre-stage this tool. And then that's the end of it. And what I'll do here is use that pre-stage to get the right amount of stock hanging out of the chuck. So we'll unclamp the chuck, bring it out till it touches the insert. Now the same amount of stock is out. Alright, so yesterday we turned the main pin, which is here. So I just turned these on the lathe, and then I'll put them in the mill to chamfer this other side and drill and tap this end, and also drill and tap two 5/16 holes for set screws. I do this in the mill because I'm more familiar with the mill, so I can knock out the blanks quickly on the lathe, and the more and more I use the lathe, the more and more I'll incorporate other tasks on the lathe. But for now, I'm quite pleased with just doing the drilling and tapping on the milling machine instead. So now we need to make the washer that goes on the side of here. It's 3/8 thick, same diameter, and then we go to the mill for that as well to cut in an oval slot. So let's fire the lathe back up, see if it's happy today or not, and set up to make washers. I need to order some more material. I think I got 9 out of that last chunk of bar, so I'm excited about that. According to my notes that I did actually take on some of this, I need to cut an 8-inch long piece. So let's go over to the drop band saw and get that cut. did. So our jaws are already set from doing our main pins, so that's a good thing. We're going to select this program, and it looks like I did make a note in here, 1 3/4 sticking out of chuck. I don't know how many that makes, but probably enough. So let's open our chuck jaws. Wrong mode, handle jog. Put our stock in. We're gonna do 1 3/4 sticking out of the chuck. That. Some safety glasses on here. Insert finally gave up. I was just going to change it after this part too, so I guess it's done. So let's get that changed out. Alright, that's 12 of them. So we'll move over to the mill and do our next setup. Alright, now we're over here at the HAAS VF3, also an older machine, like a 99, I think. But we are just going to be using a 6-inch Kurt vise with a V-block. And let me show you that real quick. Let's turn the machine on so we got some light. Show you. So I already switched the jaws out, but this is just your run-of-the-mill V-block. There's a parallel underneath of it just to support this pin, and then I have a stop here so that I don't have to pick up X0, Y0 every time. So we're gonna sand this little nipple off. Looks like our tools are already loaded, which is a good thing. I use these same few tools quite a bit, so they're usually just in the machine. Come down here and we'll find our center. All right, 8 more times. Alright, that's all 9. Now we have to drill and tap 2 5/16 18 holes in the side. That was it, last one. So now on to deburring, and then I chase a tap through this hole and then through this hole here. So that's why I do it by hand, because there is a tap, meaning a tapped hole meaning a tapped hole. So I like to chase through both of them by hand. So yeah, we'll set up for that next. Alright, so now we're going to chamfer these holes and then finish them by hand tapping them. And this is just a magnetic vise. I seen West Weld on Instagram. He had one of these vices, and I finally saved a couple bucks up and bought one. And I'm liking it so far. It's made by Fine, I believe, is F-E-I-N company. And it's been pretty useful so far. So just kind of throw it anywhere you got metal and you got a vise instantly. So yeah, that's the vise we're going to use. Let's set up for the last part of this project, and it will be to slot those washers we made, them 3/8 thick washers. So we'll just put those in the milling machine, go in with a roughing cutter, and make it a slot. So we'll set up for that next. Take our tag, put it on our tool that we removed so we know how long it is for next time. Take the tool we need. Then we'll take this information and put it into the computer. And we got this tag holder here. Put our tag in there. Alright, that's all of them. So, alright, that's all 12. All slotted. That one's still a little warm. So, there's our pin we made. Started out on the lathe and then went to the mill for the 3/4 10 and the 5/16 18 holes. And then we made some washers with a 3/8 hole in it, and then went to the mill and slotted them. So this washer will bolt to the side of this pin, and this pin belongs to my vice bases that I make for the old Versa vices and the new style Chinese parrot vices. So they've been pretty popular, and yeah, that's what these pins are for. And I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.